Hey folks, I'm a cuboid alien man and welcome to the stream. I hope everyone's doing alright today. Do you know what? Everyone is here and I'm very happy with this. And look at this, that's not going to show up in the overlay, but Reese King 108 just got the subscription. Good job, thank you very much. Please enjoy your penguins. Enjoy the little wiggly dancy penguin, that's one of my favorites. So, sorry, I've not long home from work, not long finished my tea, so hey is great. Now those of us who are regulars on my stream know that on Mondays we play horror games. I'm not gonna do that today because it was a nice short shift at work. It's a nice chill bank holiday, so I'm not doing a horror game today. I'm doing a silly one. We're going to play Milkmaid of the Milky Way. What is this game? I don't know. But let's play it. Let's find out. The title sounds ridiculous. This art looks fantastic, and as far as I can tell, it's not a boob game, because there's a lot of those hidden away on the Switch shop, and no. Ooh, hello. That's not what I was expecting. Hello, Mr. Analog Stick. Alright, options. Cursor speed. Yes. There you go. Music volume. How are we doing for music volume? Because I like alright, about Milkmaid. Dear player, I'm honored that you decided to play my game. It's been a long, strenuous expedition from the first ideas of creating an adventure game to the finish line. I tried my best, and hope you enjoy your journey. Thank you, Mattis Folkstad. Ah, that's very nice. There you go. Adventure game. They're not boob games, except for Leisure Suit Larry 1 through 7. But we're not talking about those right now. We're going to play this one. Let's see what this is about. Ooh, Rix and Reese have a secret language. Is that language Welsh? I've Welsh-speaking friends. Deep in a fjord, a girl and her bovine. Western Norway, 1929. Oh no. Oh no! Oh, my chat! My chat's gone to a language I can't understand. Please help. Anyway, that was a short game. Back up to the title card. Well, I hope everyone had a good time for that. That's my my speedrun attempt of this game. I hope we all had fun. Oh, okay. Another restless night. Luckily, the storm had passed. The fields were wet, but the sun was rising fast. Is the whole game going to be doing this? I think the whole game might be doing this. Enough hours spent in bed. I heard impatient mooing from the shed. Well, can I look at anything? What can I do? My milk bucket and tools were gone. So strange. Had a thief wandered through this mountain range? Oh, okay. Cool. Right, what are you? Options. How to make cheese. And butter. Wow. Look at all of this lore. How to make cheese. Pour fresh milk in the separator. Separate the skim milk, keep the cream for later. The milk won't curdle by default. Bring it to boil. Add vinegar and salt. Don't let it clot. Stir, stir, stir the pot. The churner must be full of cream. Beat it hard. Go full steam. Churn the butter till it's thick. It should become hard and stick. Remember to keep it cool, or else we'll melt into a pool. I'm gonna come back to that a little later. Alright, what else can I play with? I took some firewood, but it was wet. Everything had soaked in the rain, I bet. Oh, we got an item. Alright, let's go to the shed. When I stretched my hand, elbow, and knee, I couldn't reach the fruit in the tree. I like the rhyming thing, but I don't think I'm good. Alright, hang on. I don't think I'll be saying that when the meanings of the words the writers do fit. There you go, just do accents, and that's how you come up with good rhymes. Throw a log at it. The thought was cute, but it wouldn't get me the fruit. Alright, hello cows. Lick was patient and astoundingly clever. I raised her as a calf. She had known me forever. The cows needed milking. I saw from their shudders. They tiptoed impatiently with bulging udders. Alright, that's cute. Well, I can't go back to the cows. There's nothing to do. Oh, hello. I took the spoon. I would need it soon. Yeah. Up here I had no one to impress, so I wore my pants instead of my dress. The churn was used to beat cream into spread. It made thick, greasy butter, perfect for bread. That's kind of cute. Do you know what? Game's cute. Soundtrack's cute. Look at that fjord! Amazing. Is this all? I suspect this is all going to rhyme, Rixtress. That's what we're going to be doing today, is rhyming. Chat, get your rhyming going. The fruit had a certain appeal, with its fresh smell and yellow peel. You can't rhyme peel with peel, game. What are doing? Ah, whatever. We got the thing. Right. Can I give... Can I... A cow. Do you want a lemon? I shouldn't use that there. The cows needed love and care. Oh, that's how you get the D ending. Like, if the cows don't like you, then they don't come to your rescue in the forest. And... yeah, then what do you do? Nope. What? Oh, ooh! I would get it out if I could, but the nail was stuck in the wood. Alright, spoon. Spoon. Man, this spoon is the most useful item. Finally, I removed that stubborn nail. My greatest conquest. A fairy tale. Oh yeah, and you want to go to cow prom? That'd be cool. Looking down on Calf Ledge, I thought about Father's pledge. I thought that was dynamite. You see what I'm going for when I say that was dynamite, right? That's not dynamite. How had the bucket ended up here? Had the wind made it disappear? Yeah, see? Mew knows what's up. Can I... Oh, I can just keep going. Alright, let's wander off. The cows can wait. I'm heading towards my predestined fate. I like the walking speed being fast. I like that... Ooh, is it doing the Sierra thing? A metal pole to use as a tether. A boat had sunk in the stormy weather. I'm making the rhymes better. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it does the Sierra thing. Where if you click, you walk, and if you double click, you run. That's even better. Father and me had built this for Mother. A year later, a memorial for another. Oh. The flowers I had left here were dry as a bone, after being left out in the wind all alone. With a sudden gust, the dry flowers turned to dust. Nope. Don't look at that stuff. Wait, hang on. Can I do anything up here? What about you? Yeah, you're painted differently. I picked up some rocks, squarish like flat blocks. Oh, I'm gonna go and skip those across the water. I was never any good at skimming stones, but I do like doing it. Alright, no. That would be a big mistake. I had nothing to throw in the lake. Oh, okay. Well, you don't throw rocks in the lake. You give them a flick of the wrist, and you spin them, and they skip. Mew, I'm gonna be dead honest with you. It is one of my absolute pet peeves, the people who don't get meter. Or just, a piece had fallen off the rock. I picked up a decently sized block. Had the rock fallen from the mountainside? It was 2 meters tall and 1 meter wide. It looked like a huge salt stone, its shape mysterious and unknown. It is a square. I can see it standing there. Pew! I'm gonna do my own. You're right, it is a horror game. No, it's one of my absolute pet peeves when there's poetry or rhyming or lyrical speaking, but it isn't. Have you heard people speak person writing? No, bucket, go! Alright, girls, time to squeeze out some milk for the butter and cheese. That's the kind of rhyme that I do like. There is a Tom Lehrer song which rhymes tragic and adjectives. And that's brilliant. After milking, as always, I led the cows up to graze. Until evening, the cows could do as they please, but I needed to finish the butter and cheese. Okay, so we can... Yeah, see, Lady Mappy knows the song. That's a good song. Did I go this way? Yeah, I did, didn't I? Because this is the lake. No, this is the weird square. That's right. The lake is the other way. I don't need to go to the lake. I'm reminded of a fellow I used to know whose name was Empirical Woodland. Is this going to be a pun? Is this going to be a rhyme? Where's my house? There's my house. We made the cheese in kettles like these. Oh, this is where we get the book, right? Yeah. What are you? You look like a vice. You crank the separator, your hand ablaze, to force the cream and the milk to part ways. My modification was clever, without any clutter. The thick cream would trickle down to be churned to butter. Had I been visited by a vandal? The separator was missing its handle. What should I do? I drew a blank. I couldn't make butter without the crank. Sturdy nail with 90-degree bends. Solid metal with square-shaped ends. You're gonna be a crank, right? Yeah, an idea in my mind lit an idea in my mind like a lit candle. Maybe the nail could be used as a handle. As far as I could tell, the nail fit really well. I knew a friend who his last name was 68030. Spelt 68030. The joke is that you pronounce it like O'Hara or something like that, but 030. Matt 68030. He was a good guy. The churn was filled to the brim, and the milk was nice and skim. Before the butter could be beaten, it had to be churned. It had to be beaten. Don't ignore that sound. Ignore that mac and cheese. The butter was done. Ready for Erlen's next pickup run. Right, what was the rest? I'm glad that did it automatically. How do I make butter? No, we just did butter. Cheese! Separator, keep the cream for later. Or cut like default. Bring it to boil, add vinegar and salt. Don't let it clot. Stir. Right, so we're gonna have to... The wood was too wet, I had to admit. It needed to dry before it was lit. Okay, next step is to go and dry. I know how to dry that. I know how to dry that. Come here. Right? What I'm thinking is we go to the top of the mountain and we put the logs down on top of the mountain. Right? Because that way the flowers dried out really, really quickly. So, alright, how good's your pathing? Stellar. I love that. Right, log. The cairn was a nice place I would go to cry. This time I left the wet wood to dry. In time, the wood would dry, so I decided to say goodbye. Oh, that's gonna be... leave the room and come back, I reckon. I've played point-and-click games before. The wood had dried. Now it was bona fide. I absolutely cannot take that sentence seriously anymore. There is the Victoria Wood sketch with the character says, oh, it's totally bona fide, which then becomes totally bonifodo. It's doubly bonifodo. And she just keeps saying it, and it gets sillier and sillier every time. It is also about the nuclear apocalypse, talking about the particular Tom Lehrer song. It's a different world up here, Mother had said. Past these rocks, the cows were fed. And that's why they use the name of that song in Fallout. How did I get back to my house from here? Did I just go this way? I feel like that's a really odd way of doing it. Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something. Anyways, right, let's read my book again. Well, no, first thing we need to do. Put you down there. And then we use the rocks to light a fire. I let out a sigh that was meant for wood. Dry. Well, that is dry wood, isn't it? Oh. Something was wrong. The smoke didn't leave. The chimney was broken, I was led to believe. Oh, I'm ruining everything. Okay. But yeah, there's... If I went in, I would choke. The room was filled with smoke. Yeah, there's a story, a mission in... I think it's New Vegas, actually. It's called We Will All Go Together When We Go. And it's you have to go and collect irradiated dog tags from a desolate town that no one goes near. Ooh, can I go down here? No, I can't go down there. Well, let's just run away. The house can burn down. That's right. It's absolutely fine. New Vegas? That sounds about right. What if I click on the roof? Asks Lady Mappy. Well, that's a good question. Oh, I can go up to the roof. Rocks were scattered. The chimney had crumbled. Damn that storm, I mumbled. The stones I had found were just the right type. I started to mend the broken pipe. That one fits the correct meter. And now, the chimney is fixed, and I can go into my house. I had absolutely no idea that holy hand grenades were in that game. Well, there you go. I have learned something. I'm guessing that was a weird wasteland thing. Which, let's be fair, I absolutely picked every single time. Why wouldn't you? That's hilarious. Okay. Milk. Skim milk in the pot. Now it needed to get hot. Boiling milk. A smell so sweet. But the cheese was not ready to eat. Grams, hello! Yes, see, look at that smart penguin. That's me today. And then we're going to use that instead of vinegar. I squeezed the lemon from the garden, hoping it would make the cheese harden. And then you're going to be salt. This must be salt, I was reasoning, and threw in a good pinch of seasoning. And then, oh yeah, and then the last step was to mix it, wasn't it? This spoon is our MVP. Cheese was ready, I said out loud. This would have made Mother proud. Just as the chores were done for the day, hey Ruth, I heard a voice and a neigh. It was Erland, no doubt. I'm coming right out. Oh, that one's on me. That would have fit the meter. I just read it incorrectly. The trail up here will someday be my death, Erland said, short of breath. Orchid of the Void, yes, I must say, friends. How's it going? This is unexpected. How you doing? Oh, that's right. You were playing Skyrim, and you're part of the herd. That's right. These are friends of Moo. There you go. Please go follow Orchid of the Void. Friends of Moo Moo Milkmaid. Friends of us. Friends to all things. Hello! My name is CPC Gamer. I play a variety of games. Generally on Monday we do horror games. This is not that. This is point-and-click puzzly. And we do sort of long-form games midweek. It's currently Metroid Prime. And Fridays are casual Fridays where I do whatever I want. And generally it's going to be stuff like this. But it is currently Murder by Numbers because I love P-Cross. Thank you very much for choosing to bring everyone this way. I appreciate that very much. If you have to raid and run, take care of yourself, absolutely do that. You come first. But thank you for coming along. How are we going to reply to this fella? Chat, how do we reply to this man? Snarky, pleasant, or straightforward? What do we do? Paragon or Renegade? What are we going to do? See, I was just going to pick what seems to be the consensus in chat, or the first one I saw. Lady Mappy says Ruth seems to be very straightforward. I think she seems to be very whimsical, I'll be honest, because of all the rhyming. Let's be straightforward. Hello, Erland, I said. I said, as I fiddled with my braid. Good to see you, Ruth. His eyes seemed to tell the truth. So you're wearing pants today. Very manly, I must say. This man is a lady killer. Look out, everyone. Well, I could be wearing shorts. They're comfortable and easy to wear. You get a snarky reply for that. At least I don't have an open fly, I said and looked him in the eye. I like this capital A. That's a good one. He smiled and scratched his ear. How are things up here? I mean, it's not very scary. There seems to have been a storm. And we grew up on the side of the mountain over here, so I don't think we're scared. Scared it is. The thunderstorm kept me awake. I lay in my bed waiting for daybreak. Thunderstorm, is that right? I didn't hear anything last night. I like this soundtrack, incidentally. I do like the traditional instrument route. I love it. I hoped I wasn't giving him any displease, so I changed the subject to butter and cheese. Good. Ah, about the dairy. He was looking wary. Talk to me about cheese. I would like to talk, just in general, talk to me about cheese. Give me cheese. It's not as easy to sell as before. People are buying margarine at the store. Really? Margarine? Tasteless fat from a machine. We've already done bad English for rhymes. Come on. Trust me, I'm just like you, up in arms. The townsfolk just won't buy from the farms. Those arms are not up, friendo. This put me in a squeeze. What about my mountain cheese? Well, as far as I can tell, the cheese is easier to sell. But it's not like before, when customers ran down my door. You know, Grams, I'm with you on that one. I haven't played Child of Light, but I seem to remember that the big thing from that one was everything rhymes. We'll make it rhyme. Come see the changes. You'd be surprised for sure. They even have this thing called haute couture. The only real interaction I've had with Child of Light is What's-Her-Face shows up in Bloodstained. And I don't know why. She's just a playable character now. Yet there she is. I am I am uncomfortable with this rhyming. You also know Grems? Cool. Isn't Twitch a small place? How many people are streaming? Like 12 of us? I wouldn't feel comfortable around town. They probably see me as the farming clown. Erlen looked up, a slight change in tone. So you'll continue up here? All alone? Saying my words gave me a strange sensation. My parents built this. It's my obligation. You know, Gramps with D&D? What a bunch of nerds! Imagine being nerds. They're looking for workers down at the dock. The money is good if you work the clock. Better than farming and digging the gravel. With the money we make, we could even travel. I'm sorry, is it we now? What is we, friendo? You're just a guy who buys milk and cheese. Like a fish avoiding the lure, I said, I'm not sure. That's how that rhymes. You should think it over, of course. I've already sold the horse. I looked at his face and said, please, can you help me sell my butter and cheese? I'll sell the cheese, but the butter you can toss. It'll be the scrawny villager's loss. Don't do that with butter. That's not nice at all. Actually. And they rhymed long into the night. The slowest rap battle you ever did see. I woke up with a feeling strong that something was wrong. Chilly outside, a smell in the air. Something felt wrong, I swear. Not my cows! Not my precious antique cows! A fear grew in me, a dark stir. Liquor was missing. I needed to find her. Maybe the game is horror. I don't know. It's a point and click with a really silly name, and apparently it rhymes. I'm just enjoying, like, hey, Milkmaid in 1920s Norway. Ooh! I felt my heart beat in my chest. There was a strange light behind that crest. I looked down, guess what I found? Licker's cowbell on the ground. What are you? A light seemed to radiate from the salty rock slate. It gave me a feeling I couldn't define. A chill went down my spine. I'm liking the soundtrack as well. This one is less traditional instruments, and this is more like oppressive synthesizers. Cow! Licker was stuck. She couldn't get out. My voice was weak. I tried to shout. Let's... I have a bell! Licker's bell I had found. It made a jangly sound. No. I shook the bell and hoped she'd hear, but Licker probably had water in her ear. let's... Oh! Oh! Yeah, bang it against a big metal rod. That idea is rather good. Rixtrus is lurking. You can't take any more of this rhyming. I banged the bell with great tension. I missed the second line. And there's a bit of tension. Do it again. This was working. I could tell. Liquor was hearing me banging the bell. Oh, okay, cool. A little more, and she would make it ashore. There, there, I said to us both. I'll always take care of you. That is my oath. After a sleepless night, I led the cows to graze. It felt good to feel the sun in my face. That's a 4 out of 10. Today I had to clean out the manure. These were the things a farmer must endure. Alright, let's go back to the farm and go do that then. Hot shoveling action. I shan't refuse a spade. Oh. Alright then. The thunderous sound, the heat you could feel, apparition so strange it could make you kneel. Was it a dream? No, it was real. Oh, I know what you're gonna do. Is it the classic thing that spaceships do? Yeah, check it out. The aliens are gonna abduct my cows. Not my cows! The cows look confused and scared, poor things. What was this terrible machine with wings? Yeah, see, look at him go! The aliens... No! They took my cows, lifted them through the air. My jaws dropped, my eyes 1,000-yard stare. We are not having Vogon poetry on my stream, thank you very much. I can recite a little. And I'm not going to, because subscribers and viewers just drop and end. Throw a spoon at it! Can I go this way? Oh, I can. The ship was maneuvering just beneath. My heart was pounding. I grit my teeth. If I jump, I'd need quite some speed, and time my leap perfectly to succeed. If I wanted to see my cows again, I had to get on my ship. I'd time my jump and take the leap and hope I didn't slip. When jump? My timing was wrong. I couldn't jump that long. There you go. Yes! Action, Milkmaid! Let's go! Or not. That was not a good way to go about doing this. My head was hurting, truth be told, but at least I'd found my foothold. Absolutely. Good job we were wearing pants that day and not a dress made of belts. God, could you imagine? Hey, I'm always thinking about Lulu. The question is, why aren't you? Can't Milkmaid dresses double as parachutes? The huge dome glistened in the sun. I looked for windows, but found none. I could scratch and lift with all my might, but the hatch was sealed completely tight. That didn't seem quite right. That hatch was sealed tight. No matter how hard I tried, the doors were stuck from the outside. No, that's just back to the wing. Okay. I'm thinking I need to find one of these here doors and use the spoon and pry it open. The spoon is the best item. Tell you what I'm going to do. There you go. We're going to do one of those. Wait a second. Have I? Yeah. I've missed somewhere. Oh ho ho! What are you? It was a strange looking panel with holes. There didn't seem to be any controls. There was no plan. I wasn't being clever, but maybe the spoon could be used as a lever. The spoon stuck out a bit, but otherwise it was a perfect fit. It seemed the lever was being used to obstruct the steam coming from the duct. I bent down to investigate. It was a very hot metal plate. Can I... The butter went from thick hard piece to a melted oil, a pool of grease. Oh, okay, I get it. Now, what we do, I'll admit I put the butter down there because it's like the only item I had, but now we use that, right, to grease up a panel. Could the oil work as a lubricant, perhaps? But the hatch was smooth, without any gaps. So, which one is it going to be? Nope. If I poured the grease out on the floor, it will all would be gone. There would be no more. Do you know what I'm going to do, actually? I'm going to turn that down a bit. Just to make it a little easier to like not flick back and forth. The hatch had a small gap on one side, but it was still stuck no matter how I oh, so it's gonna be you. There you go. Maybe the melted butter would grease the edges of this metal piece. The butter filled the edges and disappeared. That was my last chance, I feared. The hatch still would not budge. Maybe if I... That doesn't rhyme! I had bruised my lip, but was inside the ship. I felt fear. I heard footsteps near. The old man spoke in a strange tongue, his voice and face far from young. Instead of trying to understand, I turned away and ran from the man. Good. You saw how well I did with 7 days to end with you. I'm not good at interpreting languages. The queen-like figure stared with eyes so tense. She spoke in a language that made no sense. Guten Tag, wie geht's? I told her quite frankly I don't understand. Your words must derive from a faraway land. Du würdest einen Krankenschwester brauchen. I think in that moment we both understood. Speaking like this would do us no good. Yeah, see, jaded muse thinking ahead. Maybe their words are internally consistent, and I can use this to recite poetry. Her words sounded strange, but now they made sense. She asked me my name, her voice slightly tense. My name is Brusque. Orchid, thank you very much for the lurk. Thank you for checking in, bringing your friends over. Enjoy the lurk and go take care of yourself. Go have fun. I told her the truth. My name is Ruth. Ruth, she said, her eyes narrow. It sent a tremor through my marrow. This is the Vader. Welcome aboard. You managed to get here of your own accord. I used butter and poured it on a panel. I am Amrita. Call me impressed. Getting on board must have been quite a quest. I just threw the butter down. What can I say? I faced my fear. I couldn't just stay and see my cows disappear. This youthful irreverence, I find it refreshing. This might all have been a blessing. I like her little Princess Bubblegum crown as well. That's really cool. I like that look. I needed to ask, ahem, where are my cows and why did you take them? Your questions are many, I'm sure. Let me rather give you a tour. Come, she said, and gestured me to follow. Down the corridor, our footsteps sounded hollow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Princess Bubblegum has that kind of tiara-looking thing that comes to a single point at the front. Or at least that's... I think she does. Welcome to the Vader. Come with me. There is much to show, and much to see. You need to improve your walking pace, ma'am. This is the Biodome, our holy retreat. Here the animals sleep, but I don't want to think about Biodome. Get out of here, that movie was stupid. The dome was filled with air and light. It truly was a magnificent sight. This is the high point of our tour. As you can see, your cows are secure. As I asked, my heart nearly skipped a beat. Are my cows merely food for your beasts to eat? This is a jam. I like this. Amrita laughed. Milk beasts are herbivores. They are peaceful and only eat grass, of course. Herbivores, of course. That's an alright rhyme. What did you do to my head with your wand just before? I said. The brief pain notwithstanding, I gave you the gift of understanding. Standing twice, that's fine. All I could say, what are they? Once the milk beasts were plentiful and diverse. Now these are the last 4 in the universe. Amrita's head hung low. Whoa, the last bull died aeons ago. This one over here, this one looks really tired and sad. See, yeah, Mew, you're with me. I want to give this one a hug. I must see your cows. I got word from our herdsman. He says they are wonderful, quite the specimen. Cows! Mind the cows. Minding the cows, dear. This one also looks sad. Look at that. I was ready to go to bed. I let out a huge breath of relief. They hadn't ended up as ground beef. This is Pal, our expert on bovine. He says your cows are divine. His voice was old. I must admit, these are beautiful. A perfect fit. A perfect fit, you say? For what, if I may? For the sacrifice, of course, he said, without remorse. Oh, listen to that key change. Good times. What sacrifice? Tell me now, and no lies. Girl, please stop your crying. You see, our breed is slowly dying. Through vision blurred, I heard, only your cows can save our herd. See, you get a bonus rhyme there because they use herd twice. My heart sank like a stone. You kill my cows to save your own? Not kill, per se, but a sacrifice must be made, I'm sorry to say. What does this sacrifice comprise? And why does it lead to my cow's demise? I understand what I'm saying is bold. We transfer youth from the young to the old. To believe, it must be seen. Let me show you the age machine. Her voice was proud. She said, Ruth, this is the machine that regains lost youth. You are like 600 years old. I don't believe you. Your cows will save our holy herd when we have their age transferred. Why do you need my cows for this? It felt like being swallowed by an abyss. A trade must be made for aging to reverse. These are the laws of the universe. Transfer machines can be fun, but like, I don't know. I'm not keen. Maybe it is horror. Matter for matter, they must be the same. Age is an ember, but youth is a flame. Oh, man. Immediate jerky. Bonus. No. You can't make me. I can choose. I won't let you. I refuse. Amrita tilted her head and smiled. You act like you have a say in this, child. I'm taking my cows. I'm leaving this ship, I said with a stiff upper lip. The young believe they hold the power, but time will grind your bones to flour. My knees went weak. I could not speak. Sorry, Rixtrus, we're still rhyming. Walk, whispered a voice. I followed it without choice. Don't worry, Ruth. I will only take your youth. Oh, man. Is this what I get for making fun of her for being 600? Because bones bent, skin crawled, heart pounding, my mind appalled. This is some good Foley work. I like that. I'm happy to see you up and awake. I'm sure you're confused. Your body must ache. The man seemed understanding. I didn't have to explain that every part of my body was in excruciating pain. I'm sorry, Empirical Woodland. Bad end? Why is my body different? I asked in dismay. Why has my blonde hair turned so grey? Your youth was stolen by our queen when she put you in the age machine. His shocking words cut me like a knife. With a poof, I was at the end of my life. But what can I do? Can it be reversed? Can I get young again, or am I cursed? I'd love to help you, but I have no years to spare. The ship is filled with elders. Eldar? We're on an Eldar ship. We definitely need to get off this, ideally with maximal firepower. Now please excuse me, I've lots of work to do. The feast is soon upon us, and I'd hide if I was you. I picked up the empty jar. Now, where was the nearest Yeah. It was an unfamiliar appliance, meant for some strange science. Yeah, but, I mean, you say bad end, I say sexy witch. So, you know, who really won that day? The answer is Grunty. And teenagers playing Banjo-Kazooie hitting the save and quit function. Please don't touch that drink. It's not ready, I think. No, don't leave the room. Look at the thing. The woman looked like a great-grandparent, just skin and bones, almost transparent. Were all these elders here at rest? A result of Amrita's youth-obsessed quest? Once these people had probably been agile. Now they looked so close to death, so fragile. I intentionally got that one wrong with... I missed the word. The sleeping person looked old and frail, breath so heavy, skin so pale. Ooh, what are you? Can I pick you up? Oh, that's a great animation! It specifically took her longer to kneel and pick that up? That's clever. It was hard on my body to kneel, but I picked up a bolt made of steel. I hadn't been here long, but I guess it meant that something was wrong. I'm gonna push this button. Everything seems to be in order here. I'm going to go back to brewing my beer. Oh! Oh, okay. Okay. Well, Reese, let me tell you, the horror was our cows got kidnapped, and then we got aged up by a big aging machine. I'm gonna steal this. I could take that glass, yes, but that would create a big wet mess. Okay, here's what I think we have to do. We have to do this. And then we use this glass over here. Nope. This glass over here to pick up that thing over there. I switched glasses, hoping what I was doing wouldn't cause problems for the doctor's brewing. Hey! Hey, are you rhyming over there? You stop that. I'm not rhyming. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, this room. Cloth in piles in different styles. This room's lovely. If only I wasn't a grandma against my will. I asked the lady who was sewing, "Hello there, how is it going?" "Hello, dear, I'm awfully occupied, Her face looked puffy, like she'd recently cried. I'm Ruth, the Milkmaid, I said. I'm Anissa. I work with needle and thread. The sewing looked terribly painstaking. What, may I ask, are you making? Oh, my stars, I'm going to be sick. This cape I'm making is far too thick. Amrita demands a flowing cape, but my fabrics are heavy and won't hold its shape. I can't make this cloth fly like silk in time before the Feast of the Milk. Do you know a way to get young again? Maybe I could trade years with some younger men? The seamstress went quiet, her sewing slow. She muttered, I'm sorry, I wouldn't know. You'd think for like an intergalactic travel race, Hey! They'd have like machines to do this sort of thing. I spotted a tuft of black hair. Hey, who's back there? This is Halim, the last boy on board. He must be hidden until order is restored. If Amrita finds out, all hope is lost. We must keep him a secret at all cost. When I grow up, I'll change the rules. I won't let the Queen treat us like fools. Halim, my boy, your time will come, but now I need you to keep mum. Yeah! How does that work? Now quick, go hide, Anissa cried. I get why she would say that, because, like, that was, you've got to make the rhyme, again, men, whatever. It looked like a huge humming spider, only bigger, only wider. It looked like a spider. Time to create 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 33 seconds. So probably take off 5 minutes because of my countdown. It was a revolving spool, spinning like a whirlpool. A burning flame with no sense of gravity was floating inside the huge round cavity. It looked like this, except it didn't. That is a very Douglas Adams way of doing things. Like, if you want to write like Douglas Adams, just describe things in the most bizarre way possible. And one of my favorites is the spaceships hung in the air the way that bricks don't. And that's great. I am Greet. Hello there, miss. I'm the mechanic, Vis. You look new. Have I seen you before? And what did you come down here for? I explained my dire situation. Vis shook his head for the whole duration. How could she demand our support, when all she does is extort? If I wasn't this old, I'd disobey. My power tools would sure make way. What are you repairing? I asked and looked at the strange thing. Close enough. This is a hover sled, an older design. We used it to herd our bovine. But there's been problems with the steering. It has a tendency to suddenly start veering. And of course, no one here can ride the sled. We're too old, and soon we'll all be dead. Do you need help to fix it? I can aid. You just have to teach me the tools of the trade. There's not much you can do to help, I think. Unless you'd get me something cool to drink. Ah-ha-ha-ha! Have beer? Oh, look at him! He's loving that! You are a kind woman. You're the first who's come down here to quench my thirst. What are you repairing? I asked and looked at the strange thing. Oh, we've done that one. Yeah, so we helped him out with the drink. Oh, hey, would you like a screw? Looks like an elevator bolt to me. You can borrow my drill to get those free. Oh. That's probably a drill, right? That's what a drill looks like. I normally don't lend out my tools, but you've been so kind. I'm bending the rules. Well, Rickstress, it's... The guy said he was brewing beer, so I'm assuming that's what that is. So hopefully everything's fine. He can continue, you know, repairing his ship with beer. What is this diamond? Can I collect it and open a door in Transiraby? He looked up and said with a certain snide, to use that dimensional focuser, you need to be qualified. Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I also tend to focus on such things, Ricksters. They are fun, big fan, but like, yeah, no, it was qualified that was beer. It looked like some kind of blueprint. Symbol so tiny, I had to squint. No, it's not going to tell us what it is. Okay, well, can I see it? No. Can you tell me what that is? No? Okay. Nope, I can't look at that. Okay, well, I have a big old screwdriver. So I'm going to go back to where I was before. Come on. I'm going to go back to where I was before. And I'm going to use the things to either repair or break that little gravity lift looking thing. I haven't decided what it is. And shiv someone. Well, I don't think killing anyone would help right now. I mean, maybe we can. Maybe we can give him my recipe for cheese. Maybe that'd let us go back to youth. If I opened the metal cover, maybe the glowing matter I'd discover. It was a strange, soft material, lighter than air, ethereal. It looked like the rising beam of light could reverse gravity, but just not quite. Yeah, let's go help Sewing Lady. Because she needs something light for a cape, right? So we've got this weird floaty nonsense. Nope. There you go. I took out the floating blob and asked if it could help her job. That looks slight, almost witching, but I can't use that blob for stitching. Oh, wait, okay. This might be the only time right now that I'm going to praise what this game has done with its rhyming thing. Because this thing right here was described as a spool. And if I wasn't thinking of that as a spool, I would not have realized it's actually like a bobbin. I remembered Mother back on the farm. When she had sheep, she was spinning yarn. And there it is. That went quite well, I said, as I looked at the floating thread. The blob had spun to a thin, fine thread, but if I touched the spool, my fingers would shred. The ethereal blob had spun into a yarn that weighed none. Yeah, I have a vague understanding of how to run a spinning wheel. We had one in primary school. And I used it. And I don't remember what I did with it. Just that that's how spin wheels work. Oh my, what a wonderful thing. You brought me a floating string. This should make the cape float. Her voice thick, a lump in her throat. Better fix that elevator before the Queen sees, or else she'll reprimand us and have us both on our knees. Yes! The cape is done, as you commanded. You did this yourself? Single-handed? Yes, my queen, it took a while to shape this delicate textile. That was a good one. Well, for starters, I don't like the colour. And for the size, why make it smaller? Am I not a righteous queen who serves and protects and keeps our grass green? Ruth over here, she says no. Should I not be well dressed at least, in time for the important feast? Of course. Without remorse, I work and pray to keep our herd alive for another day. Why? I ask you to do this one easy job, and you do it carelessly, like a slob. You are not a person who cares. I think you owe me some of your years. Oh, go. Hey kid, stay. There is another way. Listen, I have a plan. If you want to stop this madness, you'll have to be a man. You help my mother, I'll help you. Just tell me what you want me to do. Look, time is of the essence. Let's skip your whole adolescence. Oh my god, please. Yes. Like... Man, we're just gonna skip this whole period where you're so angry and you don't know why. We're just gonna get to the end. There's nothing about my childhood I'll miss. I'm not sure how this works, I must confide, but please try standing on the other side. So, I'm not sure how to turn it on. Maybe we just count down, 3, 2, 1. Well, that was fairly easy. I'm glad we... Oh, look at that guy's amazing beard. So how does it feel to be grown? Halim replied with a groan. I sure feel different, more old than new. Also, I see everything from a different point of view. It's such a long way down to the floors, and my voice seems darker, of course. Growing up is tough on the body and mind. We'll catch up, take a rest and unwind. Mother, what has she done? It's Halim, your son. I could hear Halim sobbing and crying. Even a man grieves when his mother is dying. These people had worries far bigger than mine. My resolve hardened. I'd force the queen to resign. Are you all right? I asked the man, a poor sight. Oh, my stars, thank you, Ruth, but things are not good, to tell you the truth. I was trying to make a brew for the feast, when something happened and the pressure increased. Suddenly the brewing machines exploded. They're old, and the pipes had probably corroded. Everything is lost. The queen will be so crossed. Oh, come on! This has to stop. We have to contravene. I just need to know how I can stop the queen. Steal the staff. It contains the power. But don't get caught. It will be your final hour. Here, let me help you to your feet, before I show the queen her defeat. Nah, just let an old man sit and rest. Go get the staff. Do your best. I want to save. How about that? Is that a thing? It was Anissa's needle she'd used for sewing. She wouldn't miss it where she was going. Brutal, Ruth. Just brutal. Like, yeah, man, you don't need this. I'll just take it. I like it that this is a wheelchair-accessible spaceship. Very useful. Very handy. You've got back your youth? Good on you, Ruth. How's the repair going? Is there any progress showing? Well, the engine is soon done, but the hood fell off on the last run. The hover sled needs a new bonnet. Don't worry, I'm on it. Can I borrow your oil can? I asked the old man. It's almost empty. Sad state of affairs. I need it for oiling and squeaky repairs. Oh, you don't get a cute little goodbye rhyme? Okay. So. Oh, do you know what? The lift works now. And, I presume, we are lighter than we were, so we can go up in the gravity lift. And then there's going to be a whole new set of rooms to look at. Gotta say, we've adapted remarkably well to this. It's just living in the fjords and now we're in space. This place was so fascinating. Flying staircases, lights pulsating. A piece of fruit was lying there rotten. Maybe a sacrifice. Maybe just forgotten. But I'm gonna take it. What exactly is sacrilege? Nothing. That's what the answer is. Can I go this way? Oh, I can. Oh, hang on, hang on. People. People, people, people. Hello, people. Hello there, ladies. How do you do? My name is Ruth. Nice to meet you. You hear that, Teethy? She called you a lady. You don't deserve that title. You're so shady. Utsava, you're no better. Remember the mechanic? He fled your bedroom, naked in panic. Maybe it is a boob game. So are you in charge of the decorations? They look nice. Congratulations. It is a secret, but I'll spoil it. We dragged the garlands through the toilet. You see, we don't like the Queen very much. She's unstable, uses the staff as a crutch. Before I take my cows back to my farm, I'll stop her so she can do no more harm. That's the spirit. I wish I was your age. When my breasts went below my rib cage. Well, oh whales, there you go. But seriously, we wish you the best of luck. Tell the Queen she's a stupid, lame duck. Yes! There it is! Alright, what do we got over here? Ooh, ooh! A metal sheet fastened by screws. All seemed tight, no one loose. A metal sheet fastened by screws. All seemed tight, no one loose. Well, what if? Power drill! I took the metal plate. It was quite lightweight. Ooh! Ooh, actually, there was a hollow channel hidden behind the panel. The tunnel was narrow and tight. The darkness gave me fright. I could feel the chute split. Should I continue or should I quit? I didn't know where I was going. It could be dangerous without knowing. Right, so we're gonna need... Oh! I'll bet you, now that we're young again... How do I exit here? That's not you, that's the age machine. Why is the age machine just out? That doesn't seem right. Yeah, this one. I'll bet you that I can read that blueprint because I'm young again. And either way, what we can do is we can give the metal plate to the mechanic, because he needs one of those for the hover bike. So we've fixed that, and he can have that. Come on. There you go. This is good. I can use this as a hood. A few more adjustments and she's ready to fly. Now I just need a pilot who's not afraid to try. Now that the hood is firmly affixed, I believe the hover sled is fixed. Can I borrow your oil can? I asked the old man. Oh, okay, we can't have that yet. How's the repair going? Is there any progress showing? Now that your bonnet has blessed it, I need someone to test it. I'm too old, I can't see well, and the last time I drove I fell. I know how to ride a bike, I can try it out if you like. Alright, let's go. If it can fly, I wanna know. Yeah. Let's get this baby flying. I hope you won't find it terrifying. I'm a little nervous. What's your advice? I'm afraid I'll ruin your sled. It's so nice. The controls are simple, but might be rough. Tiny adjustments are usually enough. I'll give it a try. Let's fly. Good luck. See that floating rock up there? Try to reach it, but take care. Oversteering leads to veering. This seems to be going okay. Up a bit, along a bit, up a bit, along a bit. Oh! So I'm guessing the game is saying don't do the same thing twice. So now I'm kind of in the background. I should be able to go forwards and up and forwards and up. On your first trip, you made it up there. Ruth, it's true. Your talent is rare. On the tree that had taken root, branches were filled with fruit. As far as I could sense, the fruit was unripe and dense. It had been a nice sidetrack, but it was time to get back. This was going well. Then I fell. How are you feeling? You took quite the fall. I'm a little dizzy. That's all. But how is the sled? Is it completely destroyed? Don't worry about it. It'll keep me employed. Broken machines we can repair, but we have no people to spare. I realized what was wrong thanks to this test of ours. It'll be up and running again in a few short hours. Right, can I look at these notes? Now, yeah, you see? It was a diagram of tunnels or a maze made out of different pathways. Get that command ready, y'all. I'm about to draw a map. Oh man, I'm going to draw a map next to my Metroid notes. Alright, that goes like that, up, and then you go down, down, and then you go like that, like that, like that, and then that is steam, and then that's the death machine, so you get a little skull and crossbones there. Bang! Right. And I'll bet you that is going to be the map to those vents that we found. So, come on. Hydrate? I think I will. But I will regret doing that. Because I made myself a cup of tea. And it's kind of cold right now. So I regret that. Maybe I'll have a small cuppa when I'm done with this. Right, where are we going? It was through here. It was through here. It was not through here. Hey, there's a crystal I found next to my house. It was one of those huge salt pillars. Maybe they were used by some distillers? Yeah, here we go. Alright. So, looking at my map, we need to go... Wait a second. We'll get back to that. I just saw something in my inventory. Do you see what I have in my inventory there, chat? I've got some young fruit. And I have got some old fruit. I've got a grating sound in my headphones. It seemed like the machine could permute, even things small. Permute? Get out of here! The fruit had shrunk indeed. All that was left was a tiny seed. A shiny seed, even. The fruit looked ripe and delicious. Hopefully tasty and nutritious. Right. Now, I'm going to go through that little maze of vents. Through the walls I felt vibration, maybe coming from the ventilation. I feel it's a really, really bad thing that if someone is described as a truther, that's the bad thing. Because isn't truther like, oh man, the truth is the world is flat, or something. I don't know. Right, so, looking at my map, we need to go down. And then up. And then up again. There's the police. We'll come to check your map drawing skills, CPC gamer. What are you doing? Is everything okay over there? Just as my heart filled with dread, I saw a sliver of light ahead. Aw, yeah! We made the way that we were supposed to go. Ah, I do so love being evil and drinking my evil wine. From the chute I could see a plate of fruit and a bottle of brute. Amrita's staff was directly below, stuck in a hole, emitting a blue glow. It looked like the queen lived quite well, where she kept her people in conditions like hell. The queen was taking small sips, regularly putting the glass to her lips. Is that a skull? It lined up with my expectations. It seemed Amrita kept gloomy decorations. Alright, so this is going to be a bit that we do later over there. So, okay. Okay. What else have we got? Well, I did notice there was another turbo lift. So let's go down here. Honestly, I feel like those things should make... You know that Jetsons noise? I want them to make that. I want my science tech to make those. Ah yes, the two genders. Food, knife. The chef looked like he was swearing. What dish are you preparing? A veggie stew for the celebrations, but this for me is only frustration. We ran out of spice a long time ago, so now everything tastes bland, you know. All I've got are these tasteless roots. Oh, how I long for some fresh fruits. If this meal disappoints the queen, she'll retire me, if you know what I mean. That knife looks sharp. Do you have another? Maybe I could borrow one, if it's no bother. Sorry, miss, I need my blade to cut these roots, I'm afraid. But if you could get me something tasty for the stew, something fresh, I'd probably lend it to you. No offense, but that made no sense. No, yeah, it does. Your guy wants fruit? There you go. Wow, ripe saber fruit. These are delicious. This will please the queen so vicious. Here, hold my knife while I get these prepared. Thank you so much. My life is spared. Ignore those layering issues. You didn't see anything. I'm glad that we're not on certain levels of Spock tech, because that makes me think of Spock's brain, which is dumb. That episode is just dumb, is what it is. Alright, what? Can I put a seed in the stew? I should ask the chef before I touch the stew that he is preparing for the ship's crew. Oh, I can't do any cutting? It would be rude to mix that with the food. Here you go, queen. I baked a knife into your cake. Like a jackhammer. What? Oh, hello. Oh, yeah, because isn't this where the cows live? No, that's the aging machine. This way. Yeah, it's where the cows live. Let's go say hello to the cows. Hello, sad cow. The beasts were big, a sight to behold. Peaceful and leathery, they surely looked old. Milk beasts they were called, and they were grand. Its eye was the size of the back of my hand. Standing here, pointing at the stands, I believe we're going to liberate these cows, and we're going to use alien milk to make the best cheese in the universe, and that's how we save the farm. Now, read on. After what they'd been through, it was quite amazing that they were all quietly and happily grazing. Ooh, what's that? Is that a thing? Frog! Hello, Neve. That was far from weak. I just want to hear your call. I promise, that's all. Hey, Froggy, please wait. I won't put you on a plate. Okay, we can't have the frog. Or maybe we have to pester the frog and now we can leave the screen. Liquor with her wonderful physique had... What was that word, Andy? Wow. Liquor with her wonderful physique had caught the frogs. It was sleek. The rhyme was sleek. Give me that frog. What would I do without you? Moo. They just had a line without rhyming. Game's throwing off its own timing. I took some yellow plants and stuck them down in my hands. Why would you do that? I just wanted to look at them. Please, there must be some way that you can save my cows today. My hands are bound, I am afraid. Amrita holds the power and can't be swayed. And even if I were to be trying, our holy herd is still dying. Alright, we just did that one. What's wrong with the beast over there? Her horn is broken, her breath irregular. That is Yogita. She's the wild one of the herd. Last time in the age machine, something occurred. She went berserk, and her tail flung. It's almost like she didn't want to get young. Now we must tie her down to make her stay, and feed her sleepy grass to keep her at bay. I whispered to the animal, this is a truce. You stay calm, and I'll let you loose. Do not remain calm. I'm going to cause hell. You know what you're doing, I hope. Not a good idea, taking that rope. Take care of the herd. I'll take care of the queen. She's dangerous to you all. I'll intervene. I thought they were gonna go for a you-know-what-you-doing thing. And, like... Yeah. Alright. What if we... To be fair, Extras, I think that essentially everybody on this ship is sick of the Queen. She's just doing her own thing. Ooh. Can I... Wait, no. I was gonna go see if I can, like, tinker around. Next to the red patch was a closed hatch. Ooh, can I push the button? Well... Oh! This is the drink machine, right? Maybe I was doing the ship a disfavor, but maybe it would give the water some flavor. Yeah, look at that. Now, everyone's gonna go to sleep. Looking down on Earth, my awe grew. Such a brilliant planet. So behold and react with awe. Aww, that's a great joke. But before my return, I would offer my assistance to these poor people and their hopeless resistance. Cogs were slowly revolving, like my brain when puzzle solving. Ah, those three Sherpas were the best part of that movie. the clip, I wish I had it just to hand. Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready? And then they do it. It's so good. I remember very little else from that movie, except for these three hilarious fourth wall aware Sherpas. Alright, what do I do now? I can... Ooh, let's go talk to the... Wait. Rixtress, you may have just solved the puzzle for me. Hang on! No. Oh. Well, you see, my thought... yeah, your snark about the poison frog did actually help. Because the engineer says that he needs to use the... he uses his grease gun on squeaky machinery. And the frog goes squeak, right? So the frog... Hey Froggy, here you can sit. This seems like a perfect fit. Yeah, see? If we just brute force it, everything's fine. And then we poke a frog. The frog fit snugly. It was quite cute, but it made no sound. It was mute. I mean, I suppose maybe alien frogs... Gotta oil that squeaky spool with my oil squirt gun tool. Nah, that guy went for distance. That was it. No more grease. I have no use for empties. Goodbye, little frog. Thanks for the help. Sorry I pricked you and made you yelp. Well... okay. There you go. Now I've got an oil can. What do I do with it? I don't know. Ooh, maybe if I go back to the elevator room, I can remove the hatch from one of the other elevators, and then I can go and use that. So that's my line of thinking. If we go to, yeah, this room, and then I can use grease gun. The squirt gun was unfilled. When pressed, nothing spilled. Oh. Oh! Okay. Well, I can just use... Oh! I sucked sleepy grass water into the gun, hoping it was the right thing I had done. Welcome to the ship's womb. You are Ruth, I presume? I stammered, yes, how did you know? Behind her hood, her face wouldn't show. I'm the librarian. Knowledge is my trade. We've waited a long time for you, we have prayed. I gave the room some looks. If this is a library, where are the books? All our knowledge is embedded in this hall. I'm the one who picks up the answers from the wall. Every square is a piece of information. My work is finding the right translation. My mind was trying to adjust its worldview. And what is that floating water statue? This section is really good for the rhyming and the meter. I appreciate this. We call it the oracle, but that's mostly rhetorical. Answers are most of the time simple and pure, but asking the right questions is difficult for sure. That meter is less good. You proved me wrong there, game. The oracle helps you with most important task: how to ask. You say you've waited for someone like me. I don't understand. I'm just a nobody. Ha! Never think little of yourself and your power. Every life matters, and you will have your hour. A single grain can stop the cogs of a machine. A tiny egg, if hatched, can become queen. You are young. You're a coiled spring. You are the one who can change everything. So here's what I'm thinking we do. I don't know what some of these bits in my inventory do. And I kind of want to explore this side just to work out what it is. The door was locked from the inside. I couldn't open it, even if I tried. Well, there you go. That's made that a lot easier. So what I have to do is, I've got a squirt gun full of sleepy juice. And the queen is drinking endlessly. So what we do is I try to remember where the vents were. Was it that one? Yeah, I try to remember where the vents were. And then we go to the queen's place and we squirt the sleepy juice into her cup from the vent, put her to sleep. Then we use the spool to pick up that. That's what I'm thinking. Alright, sleepy juice. I took a deep breath. I was quite alert. I aimed at the glass and then squirt. Maybe. Look at those eyes. My potion had worked. The queen was asleep. From the looks of it, her slumber was deep. Now we use the lighter on the teddy bear and the hair. And that's the wrong puzzle. I'm mixing up two puzzles from Silent Hill 2. Here it went, my only hope. Luckily, I was quite good with a rope. It worked. The staff was taken. I'd give it to Gopal before she could awaken. He is... Oh, that guy. Gopal couldn't help but laugh. It's a miracle. You got the staff. The wielder of the Veda spear decides our next frontier. But what do I do? How can it be used? I'm not a leader. I'm just confused. I'm going to put that as my cover picture. I won't pretend to know it's a mode of operation. Can you feel its power? A strange sensation? I don't know. Maybe I feel a hint of vertigo. Hey, what's up? Ah, it's not vertigo you feel, it's fear. Now please, give me back my spear. Don't come any closer, we won't say please. You plebeian fools, get down on your knees. You're no queen of mine. Ruth, it's your time to shine. Avada Kedavra! Your effort is lackluster. Stop waving it like a feather duster. Well, how about I point it? The staff will never obey. This is not some child's play. The staff can only be controlled by someone who's crossed the threshold. Ah, damn it, it's Leviosa! I should have known. Now you've had your little insurrection. What punishment is apt for such disaffection? For giving me the cold shoulder, I guess you'll have to get older. Ruth, quickly run and hide before she has us both tied. You could have at least shoulder checked her on the way out. I had to think of something quick. Amrita was mad and she had her stick. This is no time. This time there is no escape. I've got a knife. Don't come any closer if you value your life. Oh. Don't come closer. I haven't. Yes! That little thing won't save your life. How dare you board my ship and meddle with my power. Say your prayer now. This is your final hour. For your sins, you'll pay the ultimate price. Your life will be a useless sacrifice. No! I faced my fear. I've got nothing to lose. You're a coward. Bring on the abuse. There will be no refusing. There will be death. You're losing. Oh! Ooh! Hello! When the pipe got loose, it almost fell. It sounded faintly like a cowbell. Take all you want. Talk all you want. Nobody can hear. You're all alone. No one can help you here. Is this all you've got? Give it another shot. So remember what the lady said? How seeds will gum up machines? I wanted to commit, but I couldn't reach it. A simple human is no match for me. I will end you, no matter your plea. Alright, then I'll plead. When all youth is exhumed, you will also be doomed. No one here can help or hear your cry. You're all alone. And now you die. Yeah, there you go. The cog's speed was halted by the seed. Scream if you must, your end is nigh. The time has finally come for you to die. I'm not entirely sure what else we can be doing with this. So let's plead again, because there's no need to go up. Wait, no, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm gonna do. We're gonna use the rope on the pipes so we can tie it to the cogs. And when it starts moving around, it will, it'll act like a pulley system, right? This will go into here and it'll start clanging around like a bell, and that'll summon the cows, and the angry cows. Okay. Can't you see the suffering? Your people are defeated. This never would have happened if they weren't maltreated. Rixtress, I see that. Don't worry, we'll do that before we finish up tonight. And now we do that to make that work. I tied the can to the end of the rope. There it went, my only hope. Oh, okay. That is... Yeah! That's more or less what I thought my plan would be. That is some amazing animation on those. Well done. Liquor! Liquor, please no! Don't leave me! Don't let go! Oh. You saved me! You came in the end! You've always been loyal. Always, my friend. I am so sorry, but she will depart. The Queen's staff went straight through her heart. Right? Rixtrus Amrita's like, I don't know. Surely nothing's going on over here. It's fine. Can't we take her back to the age machine? Maybe it can fix her. Make her clean. I am sorry, but it's too late. She has already passed the gate. Liquor was a magnificent beast. We will pray for the deceased. Take the spear. Have no fear. Don't be sad. It's not the end. Fill your heart with the love from your friend. Lady Mappy, this game has gone places. Brainless animals, what a disgrace. I order you to get back in your place. And the place that this game has gone is predominantly space. Your reign is over. You're no longer queen. Let's take her to the age machine. And Ruth dragged the queen to the age machine, where the elders gathered. It was quite the scene. Amrita was forced to withdraw. All the years, it was a coup d'etat. That's not how you pronounce that. Everyone got back their youth. It was just an affair, while Amrita withered and turned to dust in the air. It was a just affair, even. Get that right. Oh look, this guy's a little boy again. Sorry kid, you're gonna have to go through this whole thing in like 5 or 6 years. Trust me, my way was the better way. It's fine. After years of stealing age and causing mistrust, all left of Amrita were some bones and dust. We owe you, Ruth. You gave us back our youth. It came true. My calculations were correct. You came to our aid. You came to protect. People were joyful, a celebratory mood, enjoying youth and the end of their servitude. Boy, it feels good having lost the neck of a turkey. Not to mention again having 2 of something perky. That's just great. I'm down. These 2 are my favorite characters. They were just old and bitchy, and now they're young and bitchy, and like, yes. That didn't last long. Something is wrong. This ain't looking good. The engine's overheating. We'll fall to the ground if we can't get the ship fleeting. That fire doesn't look good. I'm scared. Do you have an idea how it can be repaired? Someone turned off the steam vents from the outside. I can't get them open from here if I tried. Uh-oh. I might be the one to blame for this. I did something earlier to stop the steaming hiss. If we can't get the vents open, we're doomed. Gravity will soon have us consumed. How do I get outside? Hover sled is fixed. Fancy a ride? Oh no! Spoon! We forgot about Spoon! It'll be the death of us! You'll have to jump off when we're over the lever. Take it out quickly. It's now or never. I sure hope you pronounce it lever and not lever. Because that's how that works. Don't jump now, it's moving too fast. Wait until we're not moving past. Oh, this is gonna be like jumping off the cliff earlier on, isn't it? We have to wait for the two things to line up. Now drop, you'll land on top. Reese, why does she even have that lever? Get up! Get up! Get the lever! No! If this is how I die... You probably can't die in this game, right? It's gonna be like the LucasArts thing where they'll find a way to not do it. Yes! We did it, Patrick! We saved the day! That was close, but you saved the day. What you've done for us, we'll never repay. Because they're just a bunch of mooches. Let's get back on board. It's time to say goodbye to this fjord. Well, yes, any landing you can walk away from and the rest of that, but... Aww. You know, honestly, presented with the choice, I'd probably take the spaceship and fly away from my farm. Like, my cows are on the spaceship. We take them with me. It'll be a space party. Old days, I must leave you behind. My future is elsewhere. Today, I'm unconfined. Oh, she's doing it! I genuinely thought she was going to be like, no, I must stay on the farm for my family. What about my family? What about my cows? Ah, well there you go. Look at that ending. That was a nice ending. That was a good game. Dedicated to some cows. Thanks to cows. Well, do you know what? That was a cute little game. I like that. I don't... Okay, I'm going to steal a line from someone else here. And I feel like the game has put a hat on a hat. Because the rhyming thing, super cool little gimmick. That's cool, that's fine. But the gimmick of the game is that it starts off as cute 1920s fjords and genre shift, now you're in space. And that's the quirky, goofy gimmick. It didn't need to rhyme. And we touched on it a little while I was playing, but I don't much like how some of the rhyming went. And that's a pet peeve just in general when it comes to any kind of rhyming, really, because I don't know, it's meta. You know how to speak lyrically. You know how lyrics flow and how rhythm flows, even if it's accidentally. And I'll give you a good example of an accidental bit of lyricism, which I'm sure most, if not everybody in chat will know. And that line is, "Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog." That sentence is really lyrical, and it bounces and it flows exactly as it should. And if you changed any of those words and you added some or took some away, it wouldn't be as, like, audibly pleasing to listen to. And I know that maybe that's just me, because there is a lot of debate and discussion about, like, what constitutes poetry, what is and is not poetry, when it comes to the rhyming schemes and the meter and the structure. And I'm not in a position to care, honestly, so I'm not going to comment on that. It just kind of rubs me the wrong way in this game. Oh, but I will say, poetry-wise, my console's gone to sleep. Poetry-wise, I'll share this, which will bring up the mood a little bit, because I like this. Did you know Emily Dickinson fairly extensively wrote in the common meter, which means that the overwhelming majority of her works can be sang to the Pokemon theme tune? The good one. None of this Pokemon World nonsense or Alola. None of that. The good one. Try it. It's weird when you know that you can do that. And a little bit impressive. Right. Now, before we continue on with doing that, somebody called Rixtrus redeemed Show and Tell. So, we're going to go do some Show and Tell. And that is how I will read Emily Dickinson for all time. You absolutely should. It's... Alright, hang on. Alright, give me a second. I always remember, like, the first 2 lines of this poem, but not the rest of it. Okay. I'm going to regret doing this, and you're going to regret this as well, because it will involve me attempting to sing. But, to give you an example, this is probably Dickinson's most famous poem, or at least the opening to said. I feel like I just pulled out the cable from my headphones. Unfortunately not, so I'm still going. You guys regret nothing? Okay, so the poem is called Because I Could Not Stop for Death. It goes on, so we're not gonna do it. But to show you what I mean, a lot of her poems follow the common meter. So it would go, because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. Imagine that, but in key. That's how common meter works. And you can just do that with most of her poems. It's great. Right, anyway, that's going to be a wild start to this Show and Tell, because Rixtrus has asked for Show and Tell like 45 minutes ago, and I've kept them hanging. So let's go and do some Show and Tell. Oh, man. Did you know that a Glacier song was the soundtrack to my dream last night? It was a song called Ready. Anyway, What is today's show and tell? Oh yeah, there you go. So, not too long ago, Tiny Child and myself went to a local maker's market. And it basically people from all over the county come along and they took over the town center and all that area and sell stuff that they made. And she had saved up some of her birthday money and some of her pocket money. And this is what she bought from the maker's market, that their Tiny Child. So you've got a knitted Pikachu. And you've got an upside down Pokeball, also known as Jigglypuff, as viewed from above. You've got a little stone that says Shine Bright. She also got one with her name on it, but obviously we're not showing that one. And I'll tell you what's cute. This Shine Bright one, she looked at that and went, Mummy should have that. She would like that. And I think that's adorable that this newly 6-year-old is like, I'm going to think of other people ahead of myself sometimes. And that's pretty cool. And then she turned around and went, and I really want that unicorn keyring. Which was her cue to me to open my wallet and buy her a unicorn keyring. But it was £1, so I don't care. And then the last one is a keyring of the beach with some little seashells in it. And that's her favorite part of that, is that it has seashells, actual seashells from the actual beach. And that's as good as going to the beach. She's very happy with that. And also featuring one of these arms is Tiny Child's, and one of these arms is my mum. So there you go. Guest starring in today's show and tell. That and those. And there we go. I don't really have a good segue, and I don't really have a good way of ending this, because like, oh yeah, this is the title screen. Yeah, it's the end of the game. We finished it. So I'm gonna do a joke that I intended to start the stream like this, but then I didn't, and I did Sexy Train instead. And the joke was, I was gonna cut to my desk, and I was gonna go, Milkmaid, Milkmaid, Milkmaid of the Milky Way, Milkmaid, Milkmaid, Milkmaid of the Milky, Milkmaid of the Milky, Milky, Milky Way. It's a man's life in the British Dental Association, and nobody was gonna get that joke. It was gonna be the most oblique thing, but I was gonna do it because Milkmaid of the Milky Way has the same flow to that song. So there you go. This was a wild stream. The rhyming schemes of this game have just gotten into my head, and now everything must be lyrical. Reese wants a Milky Way. Good shout. I want one of those as well. Do I have any? I don't. But I live across from a shop. I could go and get some. Put on my shopping list. I'll do it tomorrow. Here is my ending screen. Oh no, something went wrong. My emote wall. No. Streamlabs, why must you break my heart? I just want Adelie to dream of things. It was fine at the top of the stream. What happened? Thank you very much for watching, everybody. But, like, yeah, no. Adelie is dreaming of Streamlabs breaking, as do we all. It was good spending time with everyone. I'm glad everybody was here. I'm glad we had fun listening to me sing Emily Dickinson, apparently. That was a jam. So, what are we gonna do? We're gonna go and find somebody to raid. Who is it going to be? I hope it's Moo. Moo is not currently streaming. It's going to be... Well, do you know who it's going to be? It's going to be Gothic Lolly again, because I'm going to watch them, because she is playing Donkey Kong Country, and she's in the mines and the factories, which has got the great music. So we're just going to go do that. Next stream is tomorrow. We're going to keep it going with Metroid Prime. Please join in for that. And until next time, goodbye.